Welcome to the Take Action Now Summit. You will discover groundbreaking strategies for personal and business growth with leading experts and innovators. Today, transform forward. Step into 2024 with confidence. Strengthen your network, build relationships, and develop awareness and skills. Join our 21 world-class speakers and experience inspiration, hope for your future, and an elevation of your ambitions. Inspired Choices Network, our summit hosts, are excited to have you here.
Are you ready to play with power tools? Like for real. And I'm not just talking about the ones that we plug into the wall, you know? So let me ask you, are you even aware that you have a toolbox? Maybe you know it's there, but you're not really sure what tools are available today or sharpened. We're going to explore today why Wonder Woman is not a fictional character. I invite you to buckle up, get comfy, and come with me on a ride that's going to explore a little bit of tragedy and a whole lot of triumph. If you have ever felt worn out and worked down, and you're ready to let that go and stand up tall in all of your divine warrior, I know you're going to find some tips and tools here today. My name is Char, and I'm known as your lead wellness warrior that loves to live a lifestyle of a dream life each and every day. I'm going to take you back to about 15 years old. Now, I'm going to invite you to play along with me. So imagine, what were you thinking about at age 15? What were you dreaming about? Was it maybe your next boyfriend or girlfriend? Was it the teacher that you really wanted to get rid of because you didn't like the class? Or was it maybe making a sports team, a cheerleading team, a dance team? Jot those things down. What was important to you at age 15? Our young lady today in the story is sitting in her family's doctor's office when all of a sudden she hears the doctor say to her mother, "You need to talk with her about not having children." Well, this young lady wanted none of that. Excuse me, she said, "I'm right here. You can talk to me," she said to the doctor. The doctor promptly tried to explain why at 15 years old, she was not going to be able to be a mother naturally and should consider something called a hysterectomy, of which the parent was to explain later. Are you serious? A hysterectomy? 15 years old? I bet that wasn't on your list of what you were thinking of or dreaming of, or even knowing about at age 15. Yes, you've guessed it, that 15-year-old was me. I was blown away in that moment because, you see, I was just all in on my dream. God had given me my dream at age 6, sitting in my first grade classroom, that I was going to practice medicine, fly airplanes, or both at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. What I didn't know at age 6 is that at that time, women weren't even allowed to be there. There was not one woman at the United States Air Force Academy practicing medicine or flying planes or both. So fast forward at age 15, I was all in because at 16, I was going to graduate from high school. Yep, I did that part really fast. And I was only focused right there on that goal. So to hear these words come out of a doctor's mouth was like, I wanted none of it. It wasn't in alignment with what was going on. Well, fast forward, I didn't take that doctor's advice and I didn't let that get in my little head back then. We just kept on moving forward and I was able to realize my dream. I was part of the first decade of women admitted to the United States Air Force Academy. I went on, I learned to fly planes, jump out of planes, and then ended up on my commissioning being able to go practice medicine. Wow, here I was, barely 20-something years old. All of my life's dreams were coming true. Everything was going so well according to plan. Well, at least Char's plan, my plan, that is, right? And I was even training for the Olympics. I had crafted my athletic ability along with my academic ability at the academy. And I got the opportunity to meet the US Olympic coach for weightlifting. And he was like, you need to come along. Come with us here. Wow. Well, the goal was to get to Greece in 2004. Does anyone here like to travel? I love to travel. I was so excited. I thought, wow, Greece, 2004. That was the next long haul vision dream I had. But God had different plans. See, at the time, I was doing my rotation through OBGYN. My specialty ended up being emergency trauma, and I was grateful for this time in OBGYN because I learned a few things. First and foremost, I learned that expecting moms and kids was probably not my best use of talents. And number two, I learned that working for the department head during that time was actually something that ended up helping to save my life. You see, things were not going well personally. I was getting ready for work this morning, and back then I had really long, flowing, beautiful caramel brown hair. And in the military, we had to tuck it back. So I was wringing the water out of my hair in the shower so I'd be able to braid it up. One over half of it came out of my hand. I knew something was wrong. Just didn't know exactly what. Because I was working for the department head of OBGYN, I walked right into Dr. Leitner's office and I said, hey, listen, when we get done seeing patients today, I need to be a patient. Got some problems. She knew nothing about that 15-year-old girl that we just spoke about. So I informed her after work in the evening what was my history, what was going on. And she helped me begin the journey of discovering exactly what was going on. So of course, the day at work, that day was what we call pregnancy test day. See, in a military hospital, we used to have days when military spouses and members could come in, have their blood drawn. We would send all the tubes right down to the lab all at once. She also took my blood during that appointment. And yeah, it went right in with those samples. I promptly got a call from the lab that said, hey, congratulations, Mom. You're expecting. What? Me? I was pretty sure we had it all mixed up. So I promptly called her and said, I'm going down to the lab. I'm going to draw my blood and I will make sure that it gets spun correctly because this can't be. Don't you remember what I told you about my 15-year-old years? And she said, well, I'm coming with you. Now imagine this. Imagine two alpha females, military uniforms, marching down to the lab. As we bust through the doors, the director of the lab, Bill, says, how may I help you? And we began in simultaneous, and he says, ladies, nobody's drawing blood today but me. I will draw the blood. I will run the test myself while you wait. I'm sure you can imagine we were not very impressed or pleased at all. And then the news came. I was expecting. What? What's going on? What was going to happen now? The Olympics, my career. My then spouse was working somewhere else in the world. I just could not process it all. My, oh my. Well, I'm happy to tell you that 3 amazing things happened during that time. Number one, it was almost a picture perfect pregnancy and delivery. See, I was still training for the Olympics, working out every day. And when I got that news twice in the same day that I was expecting, I was almost 6.5 months along. This beautiful body here was still operating like a normal woman's body every single month. Yeah, no idea, right? Number two, had amazing birth. The child came out great. He's now going to be 32 years old next week. Yes, but also that came with the breakup of my relationship. So now, again, what? I'm going to be a single parent, training for the Olympics, practicing medicine. How is this going to go? But it was that third door that I was not prepared for at all. And that came 3.5 hours after giving birth. I was all excited, ready to go down to the nursery, see my son, go do some walking. I was energized. And just before, I told my friend who was with me, I said, I'm going to use the restroom really fast, then we can get going. And it was at that time that I delivered 3 small, personal watermelon size tumors and would learn that I had undetected and undiagnosed ovarian and cervical cancer. Can you say dagger in the heart? Again, I ask, what now? That journey ended up being 18.5 years dealing with that. And obviously, I made it through okay on the other side. Lots of ups, lots of downs. And in one of those downs, when I was down and out, I was worn out, I had had enough and just could not see a path forward. It happened. Yeah. I got to visit the heavenly realms. I met my Creator face to face. That, my friends, is a story of its own for another day. And please know that in that moment, I had realized I had lost all hope to live on this planet. I had forgotten all of the tools that had been in my belt of success for life. And I was divinely restored. I woke back up in my body in 2007 in Washington, D.C. Not totally sure just yet what had happened, but I knew that I felt life within me. And I had hope for the first time in decades that this girl was going to be able to go through life without that C word defining me forever. Feel that relief, right? Yeah. It was in this part of the journey that I realized that our power tools are so important. And we usually have them in a holster on our hip, but we rarely remember to use them. I'm going to highlight to you the 3 biggest ones that will make all the difference to help use the other tools effectively. The first one was the power of decision. See, we get to decide each step along the way, each attitude along the way, each word along the way. I had not yet decided to fully participate in my own rescue. Now, if we look at the word decide, the root word is side. You might know of other words like genocide, right? Suicide. It just means to cut off any other option. I hadn't cut off the option of death to be in the living. I wasn't all in on getting this body and this body healthy again. And when I made the decision that day, guess what? The world of possibility opened up. Things began to change very, very quickly. To the point that number 2, the power of perspective, smashed me right in the face. As we say, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change, correct? that is what was going on. I finally had decided to do and be all that I needed to participate in healing. And now the perspective was different. The possibilities were different. The spectacles I was using were different. Imagine that. Wow. And then number 3, my favorite one, the power of muscle building. And I'm not just talking about these physical muscles. Yes, that's very important. Absolutely. I'm talking about those other muscles, the mental muscles, the spiritual muscles that we all have. And we need to work them out to grow them stronger. And when they are stronger, then they serve us better. And then we can go be the impact we're divinely created to be in the world. And interestingly enough, 3 years and almost 4 months ago today, I unfortunately and fortunately, I think, had another opportunity to exercise these very same tools and muscles that I had built all those years ago, because I was found dead in my home. Yep, that's right. From a benign brain tumor that took over the whole right side of my head. Holy Toledo Batman. Again, a story for another day. And what I'm grateful for is because I learned all these things during the years of cancer. It was very easy to pull those tools out that were very sharp and put them to work in my situation. And that experience only lasted 2.5 weeks. That's right. A miracle healing story, because I chose to participate again using the tools that had been developed long ago. So I'm going to ask you a question. Physical or health limitations or not, is your playing small, ducking out, avoiding, serving anyone, including you? Or is it taking away from who you're created to be and the impact you're to make here? You see, I believe all of us have this divine warrior within, and we are fighting to live our dream life every day of our life. We're creating that, not in a bad way, but it is a war of sense. And if you will let that warrior come live full time on the outside of your life, I promise you, you will then understand that Wonder Woman is not a fictional character. All right, folks, our time is getting ready to come to a close, but I'm going to invite you now, if you can, and you are in a safe place, meaning not driving a car or anything like that, please stand up and give yourself room to move, okay? Room to move. And I want you to repeat after me loudly in your space, and I want you to move your body as well. You ready? Let's go. I will go over. I will go under. I will go around, and I will go through any obstacle that gets in my way, because I am highly motivated. I am truly dedicated, and I am extremely successful. Yes. Oh, let's try that one again. I am extremely successful. Yes. All right, give yourself a round of applause. That's something that you can say to yourself each and every day as another power tool in your box. Keep that one sharp, because sometimes we just need to remind ourselves exactly who we are, put on our superhero garb, and just be that warrior. Absolutely. I look so forward to connecting with each and every one of you. And you can email me at char@flyfarwithchar.com. And I'd love to help you discover the divine warrior, the Wonder Woman, the Superman within each and every one of you. Because after all, we, you, me, all of us are she. It's not meant to be a sideline kind of job, my friends. We live in a nonfiction, living, active world, and you are not a fictional character. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.